Can we talk? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences? Is it clicking now that elections have consequences, okay?
They're trying everything and anything to get black and brown people in those streets en masse to do something to ICE. And I mean everything and anything. You know what's the quickest way to get a reaction from people? A dead white woman. And they know it. And they're trying to get everybody riled up, everybody up in arms. Don't fall for the bait, man. That's exactly what they want. They want you to go out in the streets and unalive ICE agents. That's what they want. They want to enact martial law so bad and blame it on black and brown people so bad that they're willing to take out their own women to make a statement, to do so. Just saying.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So Black Americans are choosing not to participate in any type of protest as a term, this is not our fight. They try to warn everybody, and now the consequences are here. And now everybody is saying what Black Americans were saying was correct.
We were right. We were right. For decades, Black people in America have been shouting from the rooftops about how cancerous white supremacy would be to America and to the rest of the world. And now that it has infiltrated and is literally sucking the oxygen out of the planet, people are finally starting to wake up to the reality that we've been talking about for decades. But the one thing about it is now since everybody sees it, this is the point in history where it changes.
It's sad that it took a white woman getting unalived by ICE for y'all to say we're not mad enough. It's sad that it took her unaliving for now white people to be on some shit like, oh, now we're outraged. Y'all don't be this outraged when the immigrants are getting killed. Y'all don't be this outraged when black people are innocently getting killed. So now you're outraged and you want us to be outraged too. It don't work like that. I'm sorry that happened to that lady. And then we also need to understand there's a lot of energy harvesting going on Earth right now. There's a lot of shit going on. This shit is both real and spiritual.
These all lives matter, folk. Y'all uber quiet. Y'all uber quiet. We were up in the streets talking about our lives matter. Y'all were like, oh no, but what about Renee Good, rest her soul, was a stay-at-home mom. She wasn't an activist. Blonde hair, blue eyes, America's standard of beauty, according to them. If they don't care about her life, what do you think that means about the rest of us? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Do you get it now? Do you get it now? These people are literally trying to explain away what we have all seen with our own two eyes. To somebody, like, for once, it ain't one of us, right? But to one of my mutuals, this looked like a test run. This looked like they just trying to see what they can get away with. Like, you need to keep talking about this. You need to keep raising the alarm. But Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, we are still resting. We are still doing our part in our community. Because we tried to tell folks left and right who would listen. We told them about Project 2025. We told them about the Biden-Harris accomplishments. Every single good thing that we have had under the Biden-Harris administration is either getting stripped away or is getting sane washed into this administration's project that they want to highlight as theirs or pass off as their own. You understand me? You understand me? If you do not vote like your life depends on it in November, you have not been paying attention. Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, have never really been free, have never really had equity, whether we're talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, whether we're talking about civil rights, voting rights. We were never, ever the first people to get the rights. It was always white women. And y'all go and y'all vote for this kind of harm. And then when the harm comes to you, y'all quiet. It is not lost on me how many white women are not up in the streets, are not loud, are not like sounding the alarm. Not enough of y'all are mad. Not enough of y'all are in the street. Not enough of y'all are sounding the alarm. So stop asking Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, where we are. We are where we have been, resting, minding our business, making sure that our kids have somewhere to go since Head Start is crumbling. We're trying to make sure that our kids are fed. Because let's be clear, this is a friendly reminder. Black Americans are still the highest group of unemployment in the United States. I won't ever let y'all forget that. But yet we are still finding a way to make it as we have always done. We have tried to tell people what would happen if they elected that entity and his regime took over the White House. And yet, y'all didn't believe it. Now we all in the same boat and some of y'all don't know how to paddle. And y'all mad at us because we not teaching y'all how to paddle because we never ever were taught. We had to just learn as we went. Because historically speaking, that's all we know how to do is just figure it out. I hate to tell y'all, now y'all got to figure it out too. Now, to Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, we still got work to do because we have some riffraff in our community that we need to nip in the bud because we don't have time. We don't have time. But everybody else, do not engage. The people voted for this. They voted for it when they thought the harm was not coming to them. But we too mixed up. And you cannot want my house to catch on fire with your house right next door and thinking your house ain't gonna catch a flame or two. But alas, Black Americans, stay moisturized and well rested. Okay, bye.
I love my people. We know our assignment, and it's to do absolutely nothing. We're not doing anything, and they're trying to get us out in these streets. Let's tear up the Black Lives Matter street. Let's bring segregation back. We don't care. We don't want to be around y'all anyway. If we see a restaurant that says whites only, we know the food in that restaurant is going to be nasty, right? Y'all are boring. Boring. Have you seen Mar-a-Lago at New Year's? Snooze fest. It's a snooze fest. Ugh. Yeah, please let us know where y'all don't want us. Because we don't want to be there. It is not a big deal. Segregate sports. Segregate sports. Let's do whites against blacks. That's what I want to see. We don't care. Y'all ain't going to get us out there. It ain't happening. And it's a fine line because I know that our ancestors fought and died for our rights, right? But it's evolution. This is where we are. And if we have to support our own by not paying attention to anything that y'all say, so be it. But you ain't getting us out there. Have a good day.
Unfortunately, even though ICE murdered Renee Good just blocks away from where George Floyd was murdered in 2020 by police officer Derek Chauvin, there's not going to be riots in the streets. There's not going to be mass protests the same way. And the reason is when we saw that video of George Floyd being killed, we were sick of it. We were tired of being killed. We're done. Stop killing us. Her people aren't done with this. Her people don't care that much. I'm not saying no white people care. I am saying that not enough of them are tired. You have to hit that breaking point. Black people hit that breaking point with George Floyd. They're not there yet. And there's not going to be a mass protest, unfortunately. I just saw a post from Renee Nicole Good's former teacher that said that she was a working mom who worked her way out of circumstances. They think they're special. They think they're different. When I look at Renee, even though she doesn't look like me, I still understand that could happen to me. When they look at Renee, even though she looks like them, they think it couldn't happen to them. And this is why they were so upset about Charlie Kirk. They saw themselves in Charlie Kirk. They don't see themselves in a working class mother who's trying to protect her neighbors. They see themselves in a bigot who's spreading hate, but is a Christian, so it's okay. That's who they saw themselves in. That's who they see themselves in. Because we're not about to fight another battle for them, because we've been screaming about this. We've been yelling about our neighbors, about the people who do look like us, about the non-citizens who this is happening to too. We're not going to do it for them. They would have to do it, and we're not going to do it. Not because we don't care, because I care. It's because we're tired. Every time we come try to save them, they don't save themselves. Every time we try to do it, we sent Kamala out there and look what they did.
Black women, To the front. To the front. I'm just here to give y'all, because we at a halfway through the year point. I'm here to give us a friendly reminder to stand down and stand the fuck by. Okay, they told us to mind our motherfucking business, stay in our place, because we weren't capable of running the country. We are still minding our business. If this motherfucker gets lit to a flame, we're minding our business because we said this would happen. Don't start feeling sad for people. None of that. Feel sad in your house, mind your business. Because that's what they told us to do. Shut the fuck up and mind our business. I just thought we needed a reminder, because I've been seeing y'all in these comments feeling a little sad for people that chose their own destiny.
I keep seeing a whole bunch of people that don't look like me making videos saying that we need to do something, we need to march. No, we do not. We don't need to do nothing. The same way Target played and we took away that dollar, we'll just take away our dollar from everybody else who wants to play in our faces and play with us. Go ahead and put them signs up. We don't care nothing about that segregation. Put them signs up so we can take away our dollar. And you can learn just like Target learned. We do not care. We are resting for the next 4 years. We're resting, honey. We don't care nothing about what y'all do. We don't care.
When the rest of the world is asking Americans why they're not protesting, why haven't we like blazed out the Capitol yet? Let me explain, okay? What's happening in America, if you don't know, if you're new here, so black people have decided to sit this out. Because we have been saying the same things. We've been fighting for this country. We've been putting our bodies on the line for forever, right? We're sitting this out. We have learned our lessons. It's not our lesson to learn. Okay. With that being said, someone else has to now take up the call, right? White people are not prepared for this. You have to understand, they have lived in America their whole lives. And even though there's a difference between logic and emotions, especially if we're talking about the survival brain, okay? Logically, they understand what's happening. Logically, they know it's not good. Logically, they know something needs to be done. Emotionally, though, they are still tied to America. They still believe in America fundamentally. They still think that their politicians are going to do something. They think if they make enough phone calls, something will happen. If the politicians were going to do something, they would have never let him in the first place. None of his cabinet picks would have gone through. They're not doing anything for us. They're not going to. But white people have got to like fully embrace that. And they have to see America for what it is. And I don't know if a lot of white people are ready to fully, clearly see the narcissist in its full form. Because if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, I have. I was with a narcissist for like 18 years. When you first recognize that they're a narcissist, you logically know it. You understand it. You know something's off and wrong. But to tie it to this person who you have seen in different light, like, because no abuser is abuser 100% of the time, right? Otherwise you wouldn't mess with them. So then you get stuck with this intermittent schedule of reinforcement from your abuser where you're like, they're bad, but are they that bad? And maybe, you know, they're bad in this way, but maybe they won't do this. It's the same person, okay? The same politicians who let all his cabinet picks go through are the same politicians not doing nothing right now. And they're not going to. It's too late. So unless y'all get real angry, real active very quickly, see, white people, y'all have not ever had to be angry before like this. Y'all have never had to get active before like this. At the point in time where I see somebody asking on a comment section, can we do our protests during the weekend because they don't have PTO to take off and they need to pay their bills? You're not gonna have a house to have bills to pay for. You're gonna have a job to call off on. I don't think y'all understand the extremity of the situation. Like, this is not gonna be a peaceful protest type of situation. And the sooner, I am not condoning violence in any way, but because of what that side is going to do, that is what it's going to lead to, okay? Read a history book. Look up the civil rights. We didn't get our rights by marching along with signs singing "We will overcome." No, 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 no. That is not how that happens, honey. So if you are white and you're watching this, you need to phone 5 friends. That's your homework. Phone 5 friends and get them real angry, because that's the only way. Y'all know how y'all got on those Zoom calls for Kamala? Y'all need to do that. Y'all need to start a Zoom call for getting active, because this woe is me, somebody come save me, it's not happening. As Kendrick Lamar said, welcome to the real America, honey. This is America.
For generations, Black Americans have warned this country about the dangers of white supremacy, unchecked state power, militarized policing, and systems that protect institutions over human life. And for generations, those warnings were dismissed. They were told they were exaggerating or divisive and to mind their own business. But now, what many Black Americans said would happen is happening in real time. When an ICE agent can kill a white woman and the first response is justification instead of accountability, something shifts because suddenly those who once believed that they were protected by proximity to power are now realizing that the system does not have loyalty. It only has function, and that function is control. This is why you're hearing some Black Americans say, we are resting, not because they're happy, but because they're exhausted and they want everyone. For decades, Black Americans organized, marched, voted, protested, educated, and sacrificed. They fought not only for themselves, but for the expansion of rights that everyone now enjoys. Civil rights laws, voting protections, labor protections. These were not gifts. They were won through blood, loss, and relentless struggle. Yet time and time again, many people voted against their own interest, believing that harm would only ever land on Black people. The idea was simple. As long as it's not happening to me, I'm safe. But history has never worked that way. Oppression does not stop once it feels satisfied. It expands, it adapts, and finds new targets. Black Americans understand this because they have lived it first. So when they say, we try to warn you, it's not arrogance. It is grief mixed with clarity. They want that empowering violent systems will not bring safety, and demonizing immigrants will not protect citizens. And they want that normalizing brutality would eventually make brutality normal for everyone. And now as the system begins to consume people who believe they were immune, Black Americans are choosing boundaries because boundary is self-preservation. After centuries of being expected to save a nation that repeatedly refuses to listen, some are choosing to step back and observe, to protect their energy, and to stop being the first responders to a crisis they didn't create. What's happening today is what Black Americans have been describing all along. The difference is that the harm has widened and the mask has slipped, and the system is no longer pretending. And the real question should not be, why aren't Black Americans not protesting? The real question is, why weren't more people listening when they did? People should start taking responsibility for dismantling the system they upheld. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.